In a world, 4 friends, 1 mission.
Mikey, what are you doing?
I'm doing the thing for the podcast.
It's not that hard, bud.
Dude, just say the name.
Fine. It's the Freedom Friends podcast.
Well, it's about time to do one of these shows. It's time for the Freedom Friends podcast. And if you are watching this, it looks absolutely like nothing like what you're used to. There's only 2 of us. And I'm the only normal one because I have a guest with me today. Very good friend of mine, Mr. Steve Dixon. Say hi, Steve.
Hi.
There you go. You've never done a podcast before, right?
No, I have not.
Okay. So I got to do the whole pay the bills portion real quick. And then we're just going to have a conversation. It's going to be great.
All right.
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
So this is the Freedom Friends podcast brought to you by warfightertobacco.com. If you go over there and you use that code FTFO, you're going to get 15% off all the smoky treats that delight that palate. I'm just going straight, just like erotic novel. With
you
all
really
these,
are. These are very descriptive.
with these
I'm here
ads
for it,
today.
though.
It's just So if you're looking for something long, hard, and delicious to stick in that suck hole of yours, go check out warfightertobacco.com. Speaking of delicious things, they make some tinctures.
They do.
Things like that to be added in over at owellness.us. All the CBD treats and needs you could ask for. It's good for what ails you, especially if you had one hell of a night before and maybe a little sore before. Or maybe it takes a massage to really get that motor going. Make some massage roll over there that you can get your hands on as well. And then, damn, we've got some good friends.
Oh, code Freedom Friends 25.
Freedom Friends 25. It's going to get you a
Wellness.
quarter off the order
Yes.
over there. And then our damn good friends over at grillyourassoff.com. And if you go to grillyourassoff.com/Freedom Friends podcast, they couldn't have made that any longer.
Yeah, like FFP
It's so long.
/FTFO.
It's crazy long.
That's kind of on us, though. We have the long name, so
That's okay.
it's kind of on.
Or there's a link
There's a link.
somewhere. Anyways, Grill Your Ass Off makes barbecue seasonings that will make your meat the most delicious thing anybody has ever stuck in their mouth. And they highly encourage you to take their spicy goodness and rub it on your meat as often as possible.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you use the code, I think it's
Freedom Friends podcast.
Freedom Friends Podcast over there.
Or if you just go to the link.
Or go to the
it
link.
is
It's so
listed.
long, I can't remember. I just got to
Yeah.
just use the link. You're going to get a little bit off your order. And they're going to send you some bags of suspicious powder to your address of choice. And then you can use that over there. Anyways, that's how you pay the bills here on this show. It's high quality.
All right.
Yeah.
Have you explained to Mr. Dixon our famous tagline?
Oh, so when we started the show, it started as a joke, and a couple of us just kept saying it, and now it's stuck, and it's become the show's tagline. But the tagline here is literally mediocre at best. Like that is the standard of operation around here. Is just
Good. I don't feel very much pressure then.
oh no, this will be like one of the highest performing shows just because you're here. Like it is, it'll. But yeah, it's mediocre at best around here. So, anyways, yeah, now we just talk. That's how podcasts work. And for some reason, the chuckleheads on the internet like to listen to us. So we'll do a little bit of introduction. I gave them your name. This is a very good friend of mine, Steve. We met about a year ago.
Yeah, about a little over a year.
A little over a year ago.
Yeah.
Became pretty fast friends. And he's been stuck with me ever since. So I've actually talked about you a couple times on the show. I've just never mentioned your name. I think I just keep referring to him as my friend Steve, but this is my friend Steve that I've talked about before. So I didn't like release any secrets about you. It was just
Oh, good.
well, it was like I went for a ride over the weekend with my friend Steve.
Wow.
Stuff like that. Anyways, this is that friend Steve. He's real.
Yeah. We always talk about good rides.
Now you know why we're friends. Anyways, why don't you give him like a quick background, just like branch years, what you did, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. I was U.S. Army. Started off as a Bravo. Ended up as a Lima.
So Bravo hasn't changed. Like 11 Bravos have been 11 Bravos
Right.
forever. They always will be.
Mhm.
But the transition to Lima, what was the actual job? Because they've probably changed that designator.
Oh, well, that's when we started the very beginning of computers.
Oh, so it's all the cybersecurity stuff now?
Yes.
Or okay.
Right.
Okay. I don't know what the cyber guys are. Are there all 35 series guys now, aren't they? All the cybersecurity
I believe
guys?
so. Yeah.
And they're all at I don't remember the name of it now.
But I had a Sierra edition. So,
Yeah, and we can get into that if you want to, because I don't think a lot of our people know kind of the heraldry of that. And obviously, there's some through line from what you did to what a couple of our other hosts did. So if you want to say what that is, we can, or we can leave that out.
We were such a different time period. When I first got in, there was no such thing as sniper school.
Yeah. So let's roll that. So the year you got in,
69,
and you served till
90.
So 21 years.
Yeah.
But when you got in 69, there was no sniper designation. Like,
No,
it was,
that's when the Army started paying attention to the Marine Corps, Carl Hathcock and those guys. And we had some people in a unit that we called a marksman, and that would be the best shooter in the company, or the best shooter in the battalion. And I was a marksman. And then when they came out with the sniper school, a bunch of us were invited to come and spend some time at the sniper school to pick up the other side of being a sniper as opposed to pulling the trigger.
the spotter side.
The spotter side and the recon side.
Oh, okay.
Sniper today is mostly recon.
Yeah, it's a lot of just watch, report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were different. Our mission was more of the sniper skills.
Right. It was more of a kinetic solution kind of situation.
Right. And that's what was needed at the time.
Right. But I mean, but we're talking literally at that period in time. And yes, we have the rule here about no war stories. But to give people context, that was not a hearts and minds mission. That was a man-on-man war. Like there's going to be more of us left than you at the end of this. Like that was the whole mission there. So yeah, that was a different animal.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So the original school was all invite?
The first few sessions, yes.
Wow.
Because they were really trying to put the program together. Because it didn't morph into recon until way after the Vietnam War.
So what, like mid-70s, somewhere in there?
Mid-70s, about 70s. I'm not for sure exactly, but it was in that 70 time period because the mission changed.
Right. The actual kinetic war started to wind down, and it was more of a
Yeah. And
I didn't know the initial school was invite only.
yeah.
It makes sense though. Like, why not go to a bunch of designated marksmen and go like, hey, look, you guys already have a lot of the base skill set. We're not training from raw. We just need to see if we can add some skills to this and see how that starts to shake out.
Well, yeah, and they interviewed a bunch of us and said, okay, what do you think the guys need to know?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they were going off like, so you had mission experience at that point. And so they were going, hey, was it essentially a question like, what are you doing outside of your mission parameter that we should be teaching these people? Was it more of like that kind of thing? Like, what additional stuff are you guys doing that we're not telling you to do right now?
Other than pulling trigger, what else do you do? And they really wanted to know because the only reference they had was the Marine Corps school, and the Marine Corps school was taught in the field.
Really?
Yeah, the very beginning, they didn't even have a lot of their snipers were trained by Carl Hathcock in Nam at the time.
So there was no schoolhouse. It was strictly
at that point in time, yes.
Oh my God. Justin, could you imagine going like, hey, you want this skill designator, but it's all going to be hip pocket training.
Honestly, I feel like that would be really good training though.
You're going to retain it.
Schoolhouse stuff, I feel like that could be very efficient training because they're going to cut out all the bullshit. If it's in the box, like on the ground, they're like, no, here's what you actually need to know.
Well, you know what it gets rid of though? It gets rid of all that schoolhouse stuff. It'd be like, this skill could save your life. And then you're out like in the field doing it. Be like, no, don't do it my way. And then you get a first class ticket home. You're not going to remember that flight, but it's first class home.
Yes.
And it's like,
Yeah.
God.
Real guys teaching you real things. Yeah, I could see that being.
I can see it being efficient. I just can't imagine.
Oh, it's got to be super stressful.
Well, I can't imagine the Army trying to do that now.
Oh, absolutely not. They would never.
I just can't
Different
imagine them
mindset,
trying to.
different time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a different generation. I know modern day soldiers, and
So much of it now, though, feels like it's like they're giving you almost too much knowledge. So that way, if you screw it up, they can be like, "Well, we taught you this because you went to this school, so this is actually your fault." And it's like, what?
problem I have now, even while I was in, and I've been out, over a decade now. The problem I had, even when I was in, you go to schoolhouse stuff, was everybody that was going to schools to increase a true skill set, not like A knock or B knock or not just your promotion school, but like a true skill school. It all felt like they were only there to get the promotion points.
Are you talking about the students or the
students?
The students,
Like
yeah.
cadre go because it's
the
schedule's awesome.
in the
and
army that
like,
you and me were in, so much of it is essentially just promotion points. Because like I went to airborne school. The amount of shit that would have to happen for
you didn't
an
have
airborne
near enough
insert.
shit on your sleeve to ever worry about using
Yeah, like
airborne
it's like
in a combat situation.
yeah, we trained it all the time, but like I'm not thinking like, oh, like we're gonna be jumping into Afghanistan or Russia or something like that. Like that's not good unless it is blown to smithereens, and then they could do it.
Well,
But
and really, airborne insertion now. Well, shit, airborne insertion since honestly about World War II is just a recipe for disaster.
100%, yeah.
It's too slow.
Yeah.
It's way too conspicuous. Like the visibility is just way too high.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's just like.
We're gonna throw a lot of bodies at it, and hopefully some of them keep on moving. Like that's
But
what
we
it
stopped
is.
fighting attrition wars.
Yeah.
World War II was the last
Absolutely.
truly attrition war. But I guess you were there, so absolutely tell me I'm a fucking idiot. The start of Vietnam, we still win at it. Kind of World War II Korea, where it was like
yeah, the mentality was the same.
it was battalion shows up, battalion gets in formation, battalion moves forward on line, and you just assault and you leapfrog forward. But we learned pretty quick. It was like, okay, that is in really dense, fast moving warfare. This does not work. And we adapted. But that was also birth of air cav and so that was the quick insertion in and out, small team.
Because most of the guys back then, you were getting the old brown boot guys. We hadn't even switched over to the black combat boot. These guys were still wearing brown boots at that time.
Jeez.
And they were all Korea and World War II.
World War II, and yeah.
Yeah,
because I guess I mean, at that point, you could have had guys that were junior enlisted in World War II.
Yeah.
And that was now your NCO corps by the time Vietnam
that's
kicked.
most of your senior.
It's all going to be your senior guys. Those are going to be the guys that are, that's your first sergeants, your master sergeants, your sergeant majors. That's all the guys that were like.
Back then, they didn't have sergeant major.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So you went to E8. And if you were an E8, most E8s back then were brown boot. And you knew it. I mean, those were a heck of a guy, I mean,
He's a hard dude.
oh man, the stuff they went through,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
they
some
all
of them
had
a
my
couple
respect,
times.
Let me tell you.
I mean, you're talking about guys that would have done World War II and then would have done Korea
Yep.
and are now spinning up and either going or training for Vietnam. I mean, that is a
early years
lifetime of
Vietnam,
warfare.
A lot of people don't realize that almost all, except for the reserve units that were called in, almost all of the regular army were all brown booters.
That's craziness.
And then they got the drafts going pretty good, and that's when they started bringing the brown boots out.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, because you've told me the story, you obviously were qualified for the draft, but you didn't wait. You just showed up and was like,
Oh yeah.
let's go.
Yeah.
But you also ended up in the Army by accident.
Yes. Yeah. I hadn't even planned on going in that day. Yeah, I went down to the recruiter's office to get some information. It was on my 18th birthday, and I went down to the Air Force recruiter because I'd been in the Civil Air Patrol.
Okay.
And so I was sitting there, and he was gone. And the Army recruiter comes in, and he goes, "You know they're not going to let you fly." I went, "Well, of course not. I don't have a college education. I know I can't fly. I'll never be a pilot." And he goes, "I can let you fly. We have the Warrant Officer Flight Program."
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. Let me think about that for a minute. Flying, get from enlisted to warrant officer. Oh, heck yeah. So I went over there and signed all the contracts and everything. And he goes, "Oh, by the way, we need to run you down the MEP station real quick and have you swear in, and then you go home and we'll call you back in a little while." Well, went to the MEP station, what's now called MEPS. But we went there, and I swore in, started to leave the room, and got told, "You're not going anywhere except for Fort Bliss, Texas, buddy."
There's the bus.
Yeah, there's the bus. And I had to call my mom, and I had,
Hey, Mom, I accidentally joined the Army.
yeah, like, "Hey, bring me my razor and that," and And she met me at the bus station. We were getting ready to head out.
Now, you're a Texas boy. Like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like born and bred in
Panhandle.
like deep Texas. Like
Yeah.
like cows, horses,
Oh, yeah.
the whole nine yards. You actually have some stories about how you spent your summers making your money. Was
Yeah.
literally horses that were a little too rowdy. So
Oh, yeah. I grew up in the Panhandle. We worked ranches and farms, my cousin and I, when we were kids, because that's the way we made money. Yeah.
So I'm assuming that part of Texas, that was probably a pretty pro-military family.
Oh, yes.
I'm guessing your parents weren't like, "Oh God, what have you done?" Like this was probably like I'm proud of you, son. Like go out there and do your country proud.
Yeah, it was. I mean, all the Panhandle back then was very, very pro-military. I mean, it was, even though there was a lot of things against the war at that time around the country, but in the Panhandle, no, sir. You came off that airplane in uniform, they treated you like you were a good guy,
Wow.
They really treated everybody pretty good.
That's great.
Yeah. So
And now you're a man of leisure
absolutely.
because you now, and that's how we met. We met because I have my hobby store, and you came in to do the hobby, and then we found out we were both cigar smokers.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. So speaking of which, I think we're both smoking the Hero Sport cigar.
Absolutely.
How's that one treating you?
Oh, I like the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, just great. Mid to full, gives a good taste. Yeah, I like this sport.
And then
And I like the 5.56 too.
that's my go-to. That's my all the time cigar. And then we're drinking. You were telling me a story about these people because we're drinking this Four Oaks whiskey that somebody gave me a bottle of. And you were telling me about something about the property that this is made on.
Yeah, their water that they used is actually filtered through limestone, just like in Kentucky and Tennessee. So the water content is the same as you're going to get for Jack Daniels or Bean or Woodford Reserve. They're using all the same water up there. So this has the very same water content right through the limestone, just like theirs is.
It's amazingly smooth.
It is.
So my buddy Jimmy gave me this bottle. So I don't think Jimmy listens to the show, but I'm going to say it anyways. Jimmy, I really appreciate it, man. It's a great bottle. He got it for me because Jimmy's another customer of mine. And in my bar, we only serve Texas-made craft beer. It's all we carry. And so he bought this because it says it right on the label. It's Texas born and raised. So that was the whole reason that
It's got a good flavor. Good
it picked. It's really good. The scent on it and stuff is awesome too. The aroma off the bottle is very, very good. So you were a man of many hobbies, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can't stand sit around and do nothing.
Yeah, you're a man of many hobbies. So primary amongst them, you've been an avid, and then it's touchscreen. Yeah, careful. That lighter's a death trap. That damn touchscreen lighter.
Yeah, they're a little scary.
Yeah,
You got it.
accidentally set that thing off all the time.
You gotta have good trigger discipline with that thing.
I'll leave that alone.
But you're an avid motorcycle rider.
Yes.
Been on twos for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were telling me like right after you came home, you got one, but you rode really young too, didn't you?
Yeah, I rode. I rode from I was 13 to 18.
And then shipped off.
I'm sorry.
And then you shipped off.
Yeah, shipped off, and
But you were telling me you got some when you got back.
I got yes, and then I got married. You know.
Got married, made a copy.
Yeah.
And when you made the copy,
She said, "I don't want you riding until all the kids are out of the house."
no, this is one of my favorite stories because I've heard a lot of these stories. Steve and I spend a lot of time together, just hanging out and sharing stories and stuff. So, you have a lovely family. I've met your kids and your grandkids and your wife, and they're all great people. But what happened the day your last one went off to college?
Oh, she left on a weekend, and Sunday night I called my good friend Tracy Day, and I said I need a ride to work tomorrow. And he okay. So I told Linda, I said, okay, I'm riding with Tracy to work. Didn't say anything else. Went to the work with Tracy, and then at lunch, I told him to take me over to the Harley dealership and drop me off because I was going to ride a bike home. And I
What a
bought used.
baller move. What a baller
The
move.
kid was out of the house 48 hours.
Oh, that's
and a Harley came
amazing.
home.
The fact had you like scouted any of what they had in the inventory or anything?
Nope.
Oh, that makes it even cooler. The fact that he was like, they're gonna have something. I'm taking it home.
Oh yeah,
that's
that was
so
my
cool.
mentality. Was I was riding something home, and I pulled up in the driveway, and she was livid. And all I could say was, "Hey, a promise is a promise."
It's very
done.
true. You kept your word.
Yeah.
Kept your word.
Yeah.
100%.
So when I put,
They were all out of the house. Like that was.
they were gone, and it's kind of funny because she's calling the kids, telling them what I'd done, and my oldest daughter was like, "And you didn't know this was going to happen?"
That just goes to show that it never left his blood. That was just yeah, it's okay. I can wait. And then as soon as he didn't need to wait anymore, it was just like, yep, don't need to wait.
Yeah,
That's
there was
awesome.
a big difference in riding. Though. When I rode as a kid, I rode a lot because it was an affordable means of transportation,
Sure.
you know, and I got hooked on it. But man, now when
Yeah,
I
it's
go on a trip, I'm
Yeah.
that's my love.
Yeah, it's a different beast, and riding with you is a joy because it is so. Like you're not trying to see how fast you can get anywhere. You're not trying to prove any like iron ass award or anything like that. Like it's just nope. These are the stops I like to make. This is how often I stop. Like this is when I like to have lunch. It's a very relaxed. It's for you. It is very much about. It's about the ride. It's not
Yes,
about
it's
where
about
you're
the
riding
ride,
to.
but who cares the destination? But
Yeah.
it's the ride and be comfortable and enjoy it.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure to ride with you and
Well,
You
I
know,
enjoyed
so-
having you around too, man.
yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
I have a question for you, Mr. Dixon.
Mhm.
What's one of the best rides you've had? Or to broaden it up a little bit, like what's one of the nicest states that you've driven through on your bike and you're like, oh, I'd absolutely do this ride again?
I've never asked you that.
My very good friend, Ken Kaiser, and I, we rode from here around Lake Michigan and back.
Wow. How long was that ride?
22 days.
Woo.
And loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
It was a ride that Most people would plan it. We didn't. We'd take off and sit. One of us get tired, then, hey, let's pull over to the hotel. Okay. Or unfortunately, every time we were in Wisconsin, every billboard that said best cheese curd in Wisconsin, Jen pulled over. It took us 2 days to get through Wisconsin.
So you had
Because
your
of
full
cheese
of,
curds?
Yeah. Yeah, God, I never ate so much stuff in my life as I ate cheese curd. He loved them.
Weren't you saying the people up there were awesome though?
Oh, they were. Wisconsin was unbelievable. I could not believe how the people in Wisconsin treated us because we were riding together. There's just 2 of us, but everybody made dang sure that we had plenty of room. No one ever crowded us, and we were taking back roads, that type of thing. And every time we'd come to a 4-way stop, people would wave us through till, we all go ahead. And just very, very courteous. Just couldn't believe how nice those people in Wisconsin were.
All 12 of them.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
There's like nobody in Wisconsin. Like,
there's,
Yeah, they were.
which, you know what?
Pretty good. But that was a great ride.
I don't think that's a bad thing though.
well, not for situations like that.
Oh, absolutely not.
22 days though.
Oh, yeah.
How long were the days of actual seat time?
Well, it varied. Like some days we did, 300-400 miles, which would be an 8-hour day. And some days we did 4 hours.
It's a cheese curds.
There was no set. The only thing we had to do was we had to be in Chicago on a certain date because my friend Ken's from Chicago, and his sister had bought us tickets for the Cubs game at Wrigley Field.
Oh, that's on my bucket list. My wife's family, they're all big Cubs fans.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't say anything because I'm an Astros fan, but I still want to go.
There was something I didn't like about them.
You know what? Nobody's perfect, but
I knew there was something.
nobody's
I didn't like
perfect.
about them.
Now
I couldn't put my finger on it at the wedding, but I was like, there's something.
she's an Astros fan, so I'm like, all right. But that is definitely on my list. I want to go to Wrigley Field.
Are you sure she's not just a sleeper cell?
You know what? She tells me what I want to hear, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, Wrigley Field and Wrigley Stadium is, that's one, if you like baseball, you got to go see it.
Well, it's like I don't care about the Red Sox at all, but I have stood on that ballpark. I've been in that stadium. I've stood on that ballpark. I have touched the Green Monster. Like
Yeah.
I'm a baseball fan. That is a piece of history.
Absolutely.
Like that is that. So I had lunch with a friend of mine today, and we're the same age. We're separated by like 60 days. But we're the same age. And so next year we turn 40. And so we had lunch today and he was like, hey, what are we doing for our 40th? Like, are we going to do anything with our 40th birthday? And we're both baseball fans. And he's a huge baseball fan, like massive, massive baseball. Like he plays on an adult sandlot wooden stick baseball league, like big baseball guy. Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. I didn't know until after they'd held tryouts because I was like, I totally would have.
Oh, I'd be all over that.
I wouldn't have made it, but I'd have tried out. And I don't know, Jim's on the team. I might have made it. So love you, Jim. But we were talking about like, what do we want to do? And he's like, I don't want to do Vegas. I don't want to do like anything like that. Well, so he owns a brewery. And when he was studying everything to become this brewmaster, he had gone and spent some time in Sweden. And so he's still got friends over there. And he was like, do you want to go to Sweden? And I was like, yeah, I'd go to Sweden, but I don't know if like that's what I want to do is like a 40th birthday thing. Like it'd be cool to go to Sweden, but that seems like more of like, I was like, and if you and I just for our birthday, the two of us just leave and go to Sweden and leave the wives here, we're getting divorced. Like that's not going to work. Like I was like, if we're going to do something, we have to make a decision. We either need to figure out like if we're going to throw some huge birthday party for the both of us turning 40 and we just invite everybody and we just have this massive party and that's what makes the story, or we would have to go on some sort of like weird buddy comedy trip together to go do something, but it would have to be something that our wives don't give a shit about that we went and did. And so I made a suggestion that we should go see the last big 5 stadiums and do like a couple day trip, plan the schedule. And so what we do is fly to New York. So we'd see the Yankees, we'd see the Mets, we'd leave and go to Boston, we'd see the Sox, we'd leave and go to Chicago, and then we'd see the Cubs and the Sox, and then we'd come home. So we would do...
That'd be a sick trip.
Right? And I'm
Even
like,
though
I think we can...
strongly dislike the White Sox. That's still a sick trip.
Right. But it's not about the teams. It's just about seeing...
It's about being there.
watching baseball
Yes.
in those stadiums.
Absolutely.
In history.
Yeah, because there's so many stadiums now that are gone.
Yes.
Like there's very few, like Wrigley's still around,
Yeah.
Fenway's still around, the Mets are still there. Like those stadiums are still there. Because he
Yeah.
was like, well, Baltimore's on the line. I was like, nobody gives a shit about Baltimore. The Orioles Stadium, who cares?
Yeah, no.
But I'm like, but the other ones are
seeing the
named.
Mariner Stadium.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, why don't we go to Tampa Bay while we're at it? Like,
yeah.
nobody cares. Like, and it's so, but I was like, that'd be kind of a cool trip. And our wives aren't going to care. They're not going to give a shit that we wanted to go see these historic baseball stadiums and watch baseball games. But I'm like, but a 5 or 6 day trip, see 5 baseball games and just eat hot dogs and drink beer and go to these historic stadiums or whatever. I was like, I could do that for my 40th. Like, that'd be a cool trip.
It also is like, it's one of those events where like going to the game is going to take up damn near your whole day, but it's still enough to like, there's like 1 or 2 things we want to go check out. We hit those before the
Right.
game,
So
hit a
it's one
nice
of those,
meal. Like it's
so-
like the perfect filler.
Like most of the time, the games in New York, they don't play on the same day because the stadiums are close to each other. So like you'll have like a Thursday night and a Friday night, or a Friday and Saturday. Like they stagger the days. But it's exactly that. Like you could see the Mets on a Friday, and then Friday night, like we could go check out Times Square and we could go like see all that stuff. And then, go to the hotel, and then Saturday we could like go see the Yankees. And then, hell, catch a flight that night that flies out and like goes to Boston, land, hit a bar, get up the next day, see the Sox play.
That would be a good trip.
And I'm like, that'd be a cool way to do the 40th. Maybe we'd be gone 3-4 days, 5 max, see the last big historical stadiums. And yeah.
And hopefully you can time it to where you can watch those teams play
A team I give a shit.
team you
Yeah.
actually like
So,
a Texas team.
Well, like he's from San Francisco. Well, he's not from San Francisco. He's from San Bernardino, but he's a big Giants fan.
yeah.
And I'm like, it'd be dope. But like if we could see all that kind of stuff. Cause he was like, do you want to go to Houston? I was like, no. Like
That's
like,
something you
first
live
off,
here.
I
That's
saw
not
this-
a big thing.
But I started watching the Stros play in the Dome.
yeah.
So
I don't think I think my first Astros game was at Minute Maid.
yeah, so I started watching the Stros play in the Dome. So like I saw them play in their home before it got turned into a church. Like, so I've been in that one, and I have stood on Fenway, I have sat in the seats at Fenway, I have touched the Monster. I've never seen a game played there. So and that was a whole weird experience. It was like as a baseball fan, it was like. So I am
weird.
in one of the most historical baseball stadiums of all time.
And there's no baseball.
And there's no
being
baseball
played.
being played. It was a weird experience, but cool. But yeah, so we were talking about that. But there's like pieces of history like that it's like, if I'm going to go do something for my 40th, I want it to be something like that. That's really unique and really like that actually has a cool story behind it, instead of just like, I went to this place. And I'm like,
Yeah, you got to do something interesting.
I don't
Something
give
you're going to remember.
yeah, I don't give a shit about Sweden. I'm sure it's cool, but I'm sure the people are really nice. But
That's also like it's a blast, but it's not like no, we went like on a 3-day bender. Like it was like no, it was packed. Like we were hopping and popping the whole time, but it also wasn't like stupid crazy.
And that's the other thing is like neither one of us really drink to get hammered. Like neither one of us like we don't want to do this 40th where it's like it's going to be our last boys' night because now we're 40, and it's like how about like we're turning 40 and it's supposed to be this milestone. Like let's go do something that we've always wanted to do. Like we've both always wanted to see games played in these stadiums. Like let's go see games played in these stadiums. Speaking of which, do you watch baseball at all? Are you a baseball fan at all?
Yeah, I'm a Cubs fan.
Oh, God damn. We were really good friends.
Sorry.
Like I said, nobody's perfect.
Anyway, well, then you'll appreciate this. Did you see De La Cruz yesterday?
Dude, that guy, I'm not looking
Did you see
forward.
this? Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know who De La Cruz is?
Yeah.
For the Cincinnati Reds?
Mm-hmm.
So this dude, oh my God. You know what play I'm talking about, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It was what, 6 forced errors, I think?
I think something like that. Where
6
he's-
forced. So this dude stole second base. So he steals second. They throw error on the catcher because he didn't clear it and bounces it into second base. So second base has to step away. So he steps away. It gives De La Cruz the gap to catch the bag. Safe. He throws it back to the pitcher. The pitcher's sitting there doing the whole like, man, I'm super upset about this steal. And while he's like, he's got the ball in his glove, and while he's got the glove folded and is like fucking with his hat, trying to get his composure from the steal, De La Cruz steals third. They don't even try to throw him out. He just steals third. And they're sitting there, and the pitcher then looks at the catcher and is like doing this whole like, the fuck? Well, when he steals third, he runs through it like it's first base. So this dude's like, what, 15 feet off the bag?
I don't know if it was all in one play. I know it was one at bat. Like the guy that came up after him.
No, this
he
is
was
all
on-
one big
was
thing.
it?
I watched it uncut.
Oh,
this is all
I
one
hadn't
big
seen the
thing.
whole video.
So they don't throw it to third. So, and he's sitting there looking at the catcher and like they're discussing. Well, when he steals third, he like runs through third like he was running through first. So he's like 15 feet off the bag.
Yeah.
And he like takes his batting helmet off and like fixes his hair, and they're talking to each other, and he realizes that the pitcher has his back to him.
Oh no.
So he goes for it, and he goes and he freaking steals home. And it wasn't even close. Like he like
Catcher
he
didn't
slides
even
into
catch the
home,
ball.
and catcher didn't catch the ball. It was like 6 errors, 3 stolen bases, like all this
Yummy.
in one play. I was like,
Yeah. That dude is so dangerous on the base path. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Like
like-
the Reds, I hope he's going to stick around for a while.
oh my God. It was hilarious to watch.
I think he's a rookie too, right?
This is either year 1 or year 2. He's super young.
Which you know that when like the bases got bigger and stuff, he was like, "Oh, come to Papa."
Yeah.
Like, this is
yeah.
perfect.
And of
timing.
course, you know, when you watch one of your players steal 3 bases in a row, including home, like who steals home? Like what the fuck?
Actually, I want to say that's the second or third time this season that home's been stolen because of the new baseball rules.
Yeah, but like who
that's-
steals home? And this dude stole 3 bases. So and the bench lost their shit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like it was beyond a home run celebration, beyond anything, because it's so rare. Like him cranking one to right field, okay,
Yeah.
sure, but stealing 3 bags, including home,
All underneath one batter.
all
Oh my God.
underneath one batter was
Yeah.
wild. You know that pitcher just had to be like,
He
oh
was-
my God, he had to
yeah.
get drilled afterwards. That we're like, how were you not watching him?
Yeah,
It,
because
like-
that's like little league shit. Like as someone who's actually coached a little league team, if their catcher and pitcher aren't paying attention,
No.
I will not hesitate to send my runner to second base because
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a free base, and so these dudes are getting paid millions of dollars to play this game, and he's just like, I'm back in little league, baby. Like let's run these bases.
And all that really comes down to is the dude just has the balls to go for it.
Oh, 100%, yeah,
And he's just like, whatever, be better.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to tell you.
yeah,
That was the big thing because I played baseball, but then I got into soccer. And our big thing with that was like, even on like defense, was do not try to take it from them. Just be in their way long enough that they make a mistake. And that's all De La Cruz is doing is he's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to just press this so hard that you have to not make mistakes.
oh yeah. It's the classic make a play.
Yeah.
Like make them play
Yeah.
good.
I have to run in a straight line.
Yeah.
You're the ones that have to do all the complicated shit.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
like, don't fuck it up. Or I'm going to take my base. And that man,
I'm excited
that man
to
took them all. I'm like,
I'm excited to see them play the Cardinals and see that dynamic between De La Cruz and
That's going to be good.
oh my God, I'm blanking on his name.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
He wears Jordan. He's the only player that
That
gets to wear
wears the
Jordan gear.
J's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Everybody knows who I'm talking. I can't remember his
Yeah, yeah,
name,
yeah.
but like he's also one that will challenge. Like he's literally been behind the plate and will tell the runner like, go ahead, take it. Make a run for it.
Yeah.
Like I'll work for
Have
it.
you ever seen that video of when he first showed up in the Jays? Because those Jays are custom made.
They
Those
are,
cleats
yeah.
are custom. So he
Well,
showed it,
his gear is Jordan too.
but they mic'd him up when he first walked out with that stuff. And everybody in the dugout was like, Man, where'd you get them shoes? And it was like,
That's been a big thing this season and last season. Nike released the Jordan 1s and cleats.
yeah.
And a whole bunch of dudes have been wearing them. And they look so good.
Well, they just look like
They do.
they look like Air Jordans.
Yes.
but
They look so good.
like
You
how
talked
light,
about the new rules. You like the new rule set?
I personally am. I like
I do
fan.
too.
So
I like the new rules.
I've been watching it a little bit on TV. On TV with all the editing and the cutaways and the commercials and the da 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 da. You don't see as much of the impact of the rules because they're cutting away from a lot of it. So I was really on the fence about how I felt about the new baseball rules until we went to that Missions game. So we went and saw the San Antonio Missions, which is a feeder team because they're AAA. So they're playing with full MLB rules in that field. And so, but seeing it with no breaks, like there was no,
Oh, yeah.
like just seeing everything in action where it wasn't, okay, the pitcher clock's going, but they're trying to get signs done. So now the announcer is going to do this big ad read and we're going to show a fly before we go back to like
Yeah.
all that's gone. And you just had to like pay attention to what was going on. And I was like, I actually really like this. Like you don't have as much of this, like there's not all these mind games going on with the batter doing the whole like, and then stepping out and stepping in. Like all of that shit's gone. It's
Absolutely.
like fucking play.
Yeah.
I like
Get in the box.
yes.
Yeah, and let's go. It's you versus him, and let's figure this out. Like,
And what was funny is a lot of people were talking about how like this is going to end up in more injuries for pitchers and stuff. Pitchers have widely accepted it, and it's also and from what I've seen, it has been 50-50 pitchers running the pitch clock and batters running the pitch clock because both of them have to be ready to go by that 8-second mark.
but I love how it's changed the strategy.
Yes.
But the strategy has to be more tactical now. You
Yes.
don't get to do this whole. You don't have 7 and 8 minute at bats. Like
Yes.
it's just wild.
And they got rid of the shift. I'm a big fan of that. If you look at just scores nowadays, because you can't run half your infield on one side of the park. Like dudes that typically were hitting into the shift because they were that consistent. Now are getting hits. It's more exciting. You got to make more plays.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the bag change.
Me too. I like
because
stolen bases.
But I like the bag size change because a lot of these players, especially 1B and 2B, these guys are fucking massive. I mean, you have these first basemen that are 6'3", 230, and it's like,
And run like the wind.
but they're on the bag, and it's like there's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
It's just a brick wall waiting for you at the end, and it's
Yeah.
like, especially these second basemen.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, oh, so you put a tank in the way.
Yeah.
Like but now they can't crowd that bag, so it's.
Well, I think I just enjoy the battle for the pitcher because you see a
Yeah.
lot of pitchers that are struggling because they can't do all of their pre-wind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not this.
Talk, man,
It's
let
not
me-
this whole like I threw one pitch, so now I need a minute and a half to cool back down.
Right.
To,
Let me
like,
recock.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
No.
no. It's,
It's-
like, throw the damn ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like guys can't do the whole like let me get my rosin, wipe my sweat, do my whole
Right.
jig, get on the mound.
Yeah.
Nope, I don't like this
Let
ball.
me do the soft throw to second.
Yeah.
Let me do the.
It's
like
it's definitely in my opinion made the game more enjoyable. But at the same time, I understand the people that don't like it. Like I can see both sides of it because from what I've been saying is the old rules, it got so into the weeds. Like people were like, we know this guy hits between second and third 85% of the time he's at bat. So why wouldn't you stack more? Like it makes sense, but it's like you got too efficient. Like
Yeah,
I want to see balls hitting the gap and
you
everything.
outgamed the game.
Yes.
And and that's when you saw
Yes.
like the super deep shorts.
Yeah.
And so you had shortstops that were in the grass.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is going on here?
Yeah. Or you'd see the triangle. You'd see second base come over to shortstop, and then you'd have that like middle outfielder from
shortstops
like,
became
yeah.
this like
Yeah.
short left field.
yeah.
And then center was shifting
Yeah.
and right was covering, no man's land because nobody was putting it out there. And it was just like,
And I don't know if I've just been paying attention to baseball more this year, but in my opinion, I've seen better plays this year. Like the highlights and everything are better because it's not as easy.
do you know what I've noticed? is there. If you notice the number of the number of different jerseys we're seeing in the highlight reels now.
That's also true.
I'm seeing more and more teams
Yes.
that are making highlight reels.
Yes.
It's not the same 5 or 6 dudes
Yeah.
that are performing. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, good.
Yeah.
Like
Like it's spread across the whole league.
I really think the game's faster.
Yeah.
The plays are more spread out. Like you said, you can't shift people around.
Yeah.
You know, so the game gets spread out. I like.
well, and all the stadiums look fuller because the game's more exciting. So
Unless you're in
people are
Oakland.
unless you're Oakland, who are just going like, sell it. Fuck, sell it.
Shout out to
Hey,
Oakland for just did Mr. Dixon, did you see their reverse boycott?
Oh yeah.
They sold
That
the
was
stadium out.
Awesome. And they won the game too. And they still were like, this still sucks. like,
Still don't like it.
yeah, like we won and we
that's-
filled this thing out.
That's all
and this
against the
team's still-
owners.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
it's
yeah.
not the team. They don't dislike the team.
No.
They don't like the owner.
They just, and what's funny is there is not a single player I've heard come out in defense of like, well, what y'all don't see behind the scenes. Like all of them are just like, I have no comment.
Yep.
I have no comment. I have no comment. And I'm like, ooh.
It's not good.
Send them to Vegas though. Fucking, why not?
What's with all these pro teams going to Vegas?
Just money. Money
Vegas
to be
has
made.
money.
Yeah.
Weird though.
Yeah.
It,
But Vegas is.
But they have no population. That's the wild thing.
But Vegas
I get.
had a big downturn in their tourists.
Yeah, I guess that's an argument, right? Because it's like, well, now I'm in Vegas, and it's like, well, we can go see a show, or do you want to go see a game, or
yeah.
do you want to? Like,
I think that's
guess
what
I
it
could
is.
see that.
It's
but
going to be,
You know, it's like most Raiders tickets now are going to be bought the
Like-
day of the game.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're going to be at gate tickets,
Right,
and-
at gate tickets.
Or-
And that's what they want for the
or you're going to
baseball.
have packages. It's going to be.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I got to stay at the
think of that.
Venetian. And so
Yes.
I've got 3 nights at the Venetian and I got my Raiders tickets and I'm going to see this show and I've got $1,000 for the credit at the floor. And
I bet the city's also hoping that it's like me as an Astros fan, and I've never been to Vegas. I'm looking at it like, oh, we'll go to Vegas, do a couple days in Vegas, and then catch an Astros Vegas game. Like it's people it's more of a reason to go there.
Yeah.
If you can go to Vegas and see your team play.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Vegas is putting more and more money into it, trying to
Yeah.
get the pro teams.
I guess the thing that bugs me is like, I've been to Vegas probably way too much. And I don't go to Vegas because I always went for work. Like I've never gone to Vegas just to go to Vegas. And I'm not a big fan of the town. Like
Well, I've been there quite a few times on business.
yeah.
I'm with you.
I'm not a big fan. And it's definitely a 2-day town. And I've always been there way longer than 2 days. And so
Like a
it's just
week.
like, okay, I'm done with this. Like this is awful. But I don't know. Stuff like baseball, right?
Yeah.
I love baseball. And I'm not a big kids person. But baseball's for everybody.
Yeah.
Like baseball is supposed to be, you've got a 2-year-old out there in his full outfit and his little glove because he's trying to catch a ball. And
Yeah.
and you've got, the guys that have been like, this has been my team for 50 years and I'm here seeing this game. Like that's baseball. Like to me, that's baseball.
Yeah.
It's you have whole families that show up. You've got 3 and 4 generations of a family that have all been a fan of that team. Like it's supposed to be for everybody. And I just can't equate that American family pastime with Las Vegas. Like I just can't do it. And I'm just like, it would bug me to walk into a stadium and be like, hey, can I get a hot dog? And I guess I'll throw 20 in the slot machine. Cause you know they're going to do it. You know there's going to be machines in the stadium. Like,
Although if you I'm not a huge gambler, but if I could hit slots and then watch a game, I could see if someone had both of those, they'd be like, this is heaven. Like,
right, but that's what all the sports books and stuff are inside the
That's-
casinos.
yeah.
So if you go, and I know you've never been,
I've
but
never been.
you've been. So you know
yeah.
Caesars.
Yeah.
Caesars has that so you go through the main gambling floor, and when you loop around to get to the back, there's that sports bar. I guess that's what we'll call it. It's the size of the
Entertainment
convention center, and it's literally, what do you think it is? 100 meters across
Yeah, easy.
of screens.
The screens. Yeah.
And then it's just one bar set up after another with a little computer in front of it. And you go and you swipe your credit card, and they've got anything and everything that is currently going on sports-wise on the screens. Every baseball game, tennis match, boxing match, MMA fight, horse race.
It's unbelievable.
If you can name it as a sport, it is on the screens and you can bet on it. And so,
Pickleball.
yeah, all of it. All of it. And so you go and you sit at this little terminal, and there's a bar there, and they will just keep bringing you booze. And if you keep swiping your card, they don't charge you for the booze because you're just
You're
hammering
paying for
away.
it either way.
You're paying for that booze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, so yes, you are correct. There are the people that are sports fans, but are also gambling addicts, and that's what they do. And it's mind boggling. Like I've never gone, like I've learned how the whole system works. I've never sat there and done it, but I've stood there and watched it and just been like, holy shit. And then if you want to place a custom bet, there's a window where you can go and you can do something like, well, Steve and I disagree on how many bases De La Cruz is going to steal in the next game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's going to steal 4. Steve thinks he's going to take 6. And they will literally go figure the odds and give you odds, and you can place a bet on that turnout
What?
with the casino, and they will pay out.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild. There was a dude.
That they will do that for anything.
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 Does not
Wow.
matter. There was a guy that I know during the Masters. He placed a bet the day of the last day of the Masters as to whether or not the guy that won the Masters was going to cry after he won. And he had like a $5,000 bet on whether or not this guy was going to cry. And he had placed it in Vegas. He had called and gotten them to do the bet and put odds against it. And and then he went on TikTok live from his house and was showing whether or not he won. And he lost. The guy did not cry.
Oh.
And so
What were did he tell you the odds or what he was going to get paid out?
I think it was something. It wasn't huge because it's such a major sporting event and it's
Yeah.
a solo.
Yeah.
So but I think it was something like 4-1 or something like that. So he would have cleared like
Damn.
20 G's, but did not work.
Yikes.
I got a friend that does custom bets all the time up there on how long a player is going to be with a team.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I think so and so is going to be with that team for 4 years, and then they'll get rid of him. And he makes a bet. They calculate the odds. They take his money.
And he finds out if he wins or not in 4 years.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I even have a friend that goes up there and bets on future Super Bowls. Who's going to be in the Super Bowl? He places custom bets. Who he thinks for the next 4 or 5 years,
Yeah.
and he puts a bet on.
And they'll do it for anybody. It's not like you need like
you
gobs
don't-
of money to
yeah.
get their attention. Like
Oh,
it's
they'll take what, a $2 bet, a
Yeah.
$4 bet.
now I don't know if they'll do a custom
Yeah.
on like low amounts, but like if we went up with literally what I just said, and we were each willing to put $500 against the bet to see who like how many bases De La Cruz is going to steal in his next game,
Yeah.
they'll do it and they'll calculate the odds and tell us what it's going to be, and they'll pay out
That's cool. Although I'm not going to
because
lie.
the chances are that we're both going to miss.
Yeah.
So they just keep our $1,000.
Yes. Going to that place with all the screens though, like even not betting, I
It's
could
cool.
see. Yeah.
It's cool to see.
Because I'm one of those. I'm not like I have to watch every single game of my team or anything. But I also I forget. I was at some bar a couple weeks ago, and they had hockey on, and I'm not a hockey fan whatsoever. But I caught myself like watching it, and like I can watch any sport and enjoy it, but going to a place like that where you can be like baseball, horse racing, golf, like anything, I'd be like, all right, yeah, I can kill some time here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you can definitely kill some time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's nice to take a break, and they have a fantastic cigar bar season that you can go and have great coffee and a cigar, and then go back.
I've told you about them.
Yeah. Oh, you have.
Yeah,
yes.
that's Casa Fuente.
Yeah.
And it's in the shops underneath Caesars.
Yeah.
So Caesars is connected to the
Caesar Forum, whatever.
Forum. That's what it's
Forum,
called.
yeah.
And it's what it is it's a massive shopping mall. Like there's no other way to describe it. It's a shopping mall.
Yeah.
It is.
But it's
massive.
every brand you've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Like for instance, there is a Leica camera store there.
I've seen videos
and
on that.
all that's in there is Leica cameras.
Oh,
I think the world's largest Nike store is in there. Like every watch company has their own store, like everything. But in a corner, so these escalators come down, and in the corner underneath the escalator, there is Casa Fuente, and they have been there forever.
Ever.
It's one of the best mojitos I've ever had in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Their Cuban coffee is absolutely stellar. There's a dude that works there that wears more gold than you can possibly imagine. I mean, like every finger has a ring. multiple.
And he's been
chains.
there forever.
He's been there like since they opened. And that dude, if he's working and you're working, he offers to cut your cigar. You fucking let him cut your cigar because it's a show.
Really?
Oh, it's this whole like pops it out, make sure he gets it, spins his cutter around. Perfect thing. Takes a match, strikes him, toasts it, hands it to you, and you go to reach for it. He brushes your hands away.
Yeah.
And he'll rotate it while you're puffing and toast your cigar and give it. It's like a whole thing.
That's sick.
It's
It's
awesome.
an art, and he's got it.
Yeah,
He-
Casa Fuente is legit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So when I would go for the show all the time,
Yeah.
I would get off the plane, get in my cab, go to my hotel, check in, drop my shit, and literally just immediately went to Casa Fuente. It's always first stop.
That's cool.
Always first stop.
Yeah.
They have the best pressed coffee.
Oh God. And then their mojitos. It's all fresh mint. They make all of their own syrups, all their own everything. Like they're just phenomenally good.
And it's kind of cool to sit there, have a cigar, and watch all the shoppers.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
also
going up down
that-
the escalators.
That is one of my favorite pastimes.
Oh,
People watching. Oh,
But what's great is
do it
it
all
has
day.
there's no other really way to phrase it. It has a patio, but it's not outside. So there is a door to Casa Fuente.
Yeah.
And it's a glass door that goes in with a glass front, and there's the bar, and it's not huge. Like the retail sector's a little bit bigger than this room,
Yeah.
and then there's a walk-in humidor attached to it, and but there's a patio attached to it that's I don't know about the half the size of this parking lot, and there's just like a rail around it, and it's just out on the floor of the forum.
In the middle of the floor.
It'd be like going to North Star Mall here, and you just set up patio railing in the middle of the walkway, and that's the patio.
And you can smoke on it?
Yep. And they will bring you drinks out there and bring you more cigars and the whole 9 yards. And you just sit out there, and it's right below the escalator, and you can just sit out there and have your drink and smoke cigars and just.
Nobody should complain.
Yeah.
I was there one time.
Oh God! Yeah,
And
don't
this
say.
lady come off and she started screaming, "Oh my God, you nasty people, everything." Before she could turn around, there was 4 security guards picked her up and escorted her right out of the building.
Atta boys.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That
Yes.
place is legit, and you never know who you're going to run into there either.
Oh, no kidding. No
I mean,
kidding.
I've run into multiple celebrities there. I've run into multiple cigar celebrities there. I've run into people there that I hadn't seen in like 10 years. And I walked in there and it was like, hey. And somehow the bartenders, if you've been enough times, I'll only go every couple of years. And I'll walk in there and they're like, hey, welcome back. Get you another mojito? And it's like, how the fuck? There's
I used to have to
hundreds of
go
thousands of people that
once
go through
a year for a conference, week-long conference. And every time I'd walk back in that cigar bar, they go, "Hey, how we doing? Man, got you covered. Here's what you like." They knew what cigar I liked. They knew I liked my coffee. And they knew
That's
exactly where I wanted to sit.
And they also have a bunch of exclusives.
Yeah.
There's cigars that you can only
Oh,
get
yeah.
from
There's
that.
some that you-
From
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's Casa Fuente.
Yeah.
So it's Arturo Fuente. They have cigars in there that are made specifically for that place from everything that comes out of the Fuente house.
Yeah.
So there's custom Fuentes. There's custom Julius Caesars. Like there's an Opus X that you can only get there.
Yeah.
Like and
That's
they have
God of Fire. You can
all the
only get
custom
there.
God of Fires.
Yeah.
And then they have all of the rare Opus X's, all the ones that you've ever like heard of that just like, man, I'd love to get one of those. They just have them sitting on the shelf. They get priority on all that stuff.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's run by a
It's
chick.
family. I don't know if it's I think
It's not-
it's family owned or
I
something.
don't believe it's owned by if I'm not mistaken, it's not owned by the Fuentes. It's a deal that got cut with the Fuentes like 30 years ago or whenever they built the forum and they had this idea to put it in. And because it's run by a chick. It's a female that runs it. And she's super nice, but she knows her shit and she does not fuck around. Like that is not
All
what you want to
business?
mess with. Like, oh yeah, no, don't go in there and act a fool because you're gone.
Oh, yeah. No kidding.
Yeah, that is a gentleman's bar.
Yeah.
If you go in and you're anything other than that, you're gone. Had a few too many, you're gone.
Yeah. You'll be
That makes so much sense.
Raise
though.
your voice, you're gone.
Yeah.
Heaven help you if you mistreat that staff.
Yeah.
It's gonna go real sideways.
I feel like more places should be that way.
So
Because you ever seen those videos where like some customers acting like an asshole And they're like, I want to talk to the manager. The manager comes out and is like, I'm so sorry about our employee. And it's like, no. Your employee was fine. This person just being an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm that way.
Yeah.
I had a guy that came in that we have a giant orange sign in front of my door. And it is orange. And it is in front of both signs. It says no outside food or drink.
Right.
And this guy came walking in with an outside drink. And my manager was like, hey, man, sorry, but we can't do outside food or drink. Well, why? Well, one, we have a health inspection. So we don't allow outside food and drink. And two, it's also just store policy. No outside food or drink. Well, that's not how this works. And And he ran his mouth to my manager. And my manager stood his ground.
Your manager's a cool dude.
Yeah. And he got right back in with this guy. And then I got a call. And he's like, I shouldn't have gotten out there. So I was like, you did nothing wrong. And I know the group that this guy's affiliated with. And I already got a hold of the group. And I was like, you can go ahead and tell him he is no longer welcome in my place.
Yeah.
Like he's done. See, you're not going to come in and abuse my staff.
Yeah. And that's what blows me away is when owners have an incident like that with their manager and they cater to the person that was being an asshole. And it's like, why would you want that person coming back to your store?
That.
Yeah. I'm like, no, like you did the right thing because him being an asshole, he's not coming back. Like you set the precedent, and shout out to your manager. If you go to Battle Pub Games at Rolling Oaks Mall, ask for Pony Boy.
Yeah, he's the man.
He's a fucking G.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
But yeah, that always has blown me away when they just it's too much of those people that hear what is it? The customer's always right. It's like no.
The customer is always the customer.
Customer is always the customer.
And that doesn't mean that you're not a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
So, and my thing is that like, well, I'm going to go complain. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You're one of the tens of thousands I've cycled through this store.
Yeah.
And I'm a year old. And I know exactly how many transactions we've conducted.
Yeah.
You make zero impact.
Yeah.
You're
good to go.
You're gone.
Yeah.
And having somebody like you in my store runs off more people
that you don't want to.
You can imagine. Like you're poison.
Yes.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah. That's like what we were talking about last week. People just need to be cool. Like some people just are trying to do a little too much, take things a little too seriously. It's like just be cool.
Man, I saw a video the other day, and it was one of these. There's like this big thing now. You're not super active on like social medias and stuff like that.
No.
You know the internet, but you do more like structure and server stuff, and
Right.
You're not big on like the. But anyway, so there's this big trend in content creation right now with these weird, like on the street interview things.
Oh yeah.
And so what they're doing is they're setting up a camera and then they will hold their phone like this where the mic is. And they'll just like turn the voice memo on. And they'll talk into the bottom of it and then they'll hold it like this. And they're doing these like street interviews.
Okay.
Like it's an old late night show. And they're doing these like street interviews and they'll just find random people and like ask them questions. And they try to hit them with questions that's going to throw them off so that you get these awkward moments with this dude. So there's this big dude. He's like 6'1", 6'2", doing this thing, right? And he asks this dude, and he goes to ask a question, and this guy, and they're in a mall, like in a shopping mall trying to do this.
It's always a very highly populated public area.
Very, very populated. And so they're in a shopping mall, and somebody walks between the camera and this interview dude and the guy that are interviewing. And the guy doing the interview goes like, you're just going to walk right between my stuff like nobody's paying attention. And the interviewee goes like, oh, you can't have that kind of mindset. Everybody's life is as busy as your life is. So everybody's trying to handle their own thing. So yeah, maybe he's not paying as much attention as what's around him because his attention is on his world and everything he's dealing with. And everything he's dealing with is the same level of stuff that you're dealing with. So while this seems important to you, it's not part of his world. So what we all need to do a little bit better is be introspective and understand what we're doing. Then yeah, maybe we should look without a little bit more. But for the most part, all we're trying to do is all get by. And this dude goes like, man, that was really deep. And he was like, deep or not deep, but unless you look deep, there's nothing to explore. If you only stay on the surface, you'll never find anything that's actually worth exploring. So maybe just look a little deeper before you assume that somebody else is doing it out of malice. Most people are doing it out of ignorance, not malice. And his point is,
holy shit.
just because he doesn't know what you're doing.
Yeah, no.
he's not doing it out of malice.
Yeah.
He's just not aware
Yeah.
of what you're doing. He's like, don't assume malice when you can just assume they're unaware.
Yes.
And I was like,
Yeah.
and then
And
when
it's
he was
so
like,
true nowadays. Everybody thinks everybody's out to fucking stomp on whatever they hold passion. It's like, no. Like some people just have different opinions. And even nowadays, that's not them fucking smacking you in the face. It's just
that's my way with all of this, man. Is it's like, well, I feel this way about it. Cool. What does that have to do with me?
Yeah, fucking
It's a lot of this stuff, man. I feel like now, you and I talked about this a couple days ago, actually. Friday when we got together.
Yeah.
We were talking about how, well, I don't agree with this type of marriage, or I don't agree with this, that, and the other. And it's like, okay. Does somebody doing that have any impact on you at all? Like, at all? Does that type of marriage invalidate yours?
No.
Does who they pray to, kiss, marry, whatever, is any of that impacting your world?
no.
Does it have anything to do with you at all? Or is it just you're going to assume malice instead of just going like, hey, that has nothing to do with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who cares? Like,
There's just so many
Not
other
in my
things.
world.
it's not my world. Like,
No.
my entire qualifier on almost everybody I meet is don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Are you a decent human? Then you're all right by me. Like, I have no other qualifier.
Well, crap.
I have no other qualifiers.
Yeah.
Just be a decent human. I don't.
Yeah. There's just so many things I care way more about than what other people are doing.
I think it's literally just. I just don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, well, whatever. Insert thing you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not your whole personality. Why don't you show me
Yeah.
who you are?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not awful, I'm willing to be your friend. We can have different opinions. We can believe in different things. We can love different people. We can do whatever. Just, are you not awful? That's all. That's all I want to know. And I'm good. I don't give a shit about the rest of it. A, it's none of my business.
No.
And B, there's got to be more to your personality than this one thing. Now, if you have defined your entire personality off of that one fucking thing,
You're right. We should not be friends.
you're right, because you're boring anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be friends with you. You're boring.
It's also, I was thinking about this. I was like, I can't remember the last time I sat down with you or Mikey or the Warfighter guys or any of my other buddies and sat down and was like, what do you think about the political climate right now? That's not when we go out and get drinks, it's like,
I literally,
hey, did you see this that's going on in sports, or we talk cars? Or,
I literally got asked that exact question point blank in my bar.
no. By a
The guy looked
stranger?
at me and literally just goes like, so what do you think of what's going on in politics? And I literally looked at the 24 inches worth of wood between the two of us. And I was like, bro, I'm pretty sure it's written in stone somewhere that there's two things you don't talk about in a bar. And that's religion and politics.
Talk about a conversation killer.
And the dude just
not a
looked at
killer,
me like,
just
Well,
I'm not going to
either a
continue this.
conversation killer or you get the fanatic.
or you started a
That's-
fight.
yeah.
There's only two things coming out of
That's
that.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Because if everybody agrees, that's called a rally. And those are never good. Never good.
And then you find yourself in the Capitol and
The only time the word rally should be used is in super awesome European dirt road racing.
yes.
Because rally cars and rally drivers are absolutely batshit crazy.
R.I.P.
And I will
number
watch it.
43. R.I.P.
His daughter is
Killing
crushing it though.
Killing it.
Oh my God. Did you see her in the Porsche?
Yes. On the hill climb.
Oh,
Dude.
Kin block.
Motorcycle rallies.
And then I was like, the only other time that rallies are okay are motorcycles.
Yes.
And even then, I'm picky. It's like,
Speaking of gentlemen, I found something we all need to go do. So there is a racing track that I went to this weekend with a good buddy of mine who works at a car shop.
were you at?
Harris Hill Raceway.
Okay.
It's in just northeast, I believe, of San Marcos.
Yep. My mini My mini club goes up there.
So I got to go and photograph one of their track days. They had a couple of the race Ferraris that the owner of the shop was out there
Should have
tracking.
shot tighter.
It was awesome.
You shot wide. You should have shot tighter.
You haven't seen them. I'll show you.
The ones you posted were really wide.
I'll show you.
Okay.
I got some. You're gonna like them.
I was looking at your story going, these are really wide, but you got a lot of extra real estate around. I don't care about the curve. I want to see the car.
I got some of those too. But they do motorcycle races on there. And I was talking with a buddy of mine who was talking to the owner about it. And he said those are every other race. He's like, we're going to have a good day. The bikes show up and he's like, I'm so nervous right now. So we definitely need to go check out. And it's a serious track.
Is it MotoGP?
I don't know exactly what kind of racing it
It's
is.
Superbike.
I'll see if I can look it up.
Well,
but
there's only one circuit that races the kind of stuff that we ride,
Yeah.
and that's King of the Baggers, and there's only 6 races a year.
I want to say it's all sport bike stuff.
I mean, not that I wouldn't go watch it. I
Yeah.
would.
I'll go watch it.
I'll go watch sport bikes
Oh.
somehow
Well,
defy
now there's
gravity.
dirt track too. I like watching
So
dirt track.
Dirt track I like, but I know the course he's talking about, and it is low bank, high angle. It's damn near flat track racing. Like it's
Oh, really?
but the turns are sharp. So you were talking about the only thing that I can imagine beyond that is sport bike, like super bikes. But I'll go watch that stuff because they're defying gravity.
Oh,
Like
God, yeah.
Apparently they're on
I'm like,
Mondays.
how do you get your bike to the orientation of a table? Like I don't like
All
they're
centrifugal, man.
not.
It's
You say that, and I'm getting more comfortable with how the lean angle on my bike, but I'm still just like,
Well, really, if you're doing
that
over
ground's
20
getting
miles
really
an hour,
close.
it's hard to put a bike in the ground.
it's true. Even
You got to work at it.
you do even on these bigger engines and stuff now, like mid turn, if you crank it to stand it up and that back end comes out, it still just straightens out. Like
Yep.
if you just don't fight it and you let that back end just kind of
Do what it needs.
do what it needs to do, it'll straighten out for you. But
The bike will take care of it.
it takes a minute to start trusting 1,000 pounds of steel underneath you that's trying to do its own thing. And it's like, okay. But yeah. So I'm super spoiled after riding with you because I've started on nothing but big bikes. And then I started riding that little one that my wife got. And I don't trust that little thing. Little tiny twitchy little bastard. I'm like,
They're too quick.
that sports, it's too light. Like it's,
what kind of bike did Caitlin get?
she's got what's called an Iron 88. So it's a Sportster 883. But it's a 15, so it's not the Evo Sportster, which is what most people are used to seeing around. Well, I mean the new ones have been around for a while now.
Yeah.
Like, well, pushing.
Well, and now they
20
have
years.
the new Revolution motor on them.
Yeah, but she's got she's on an iron, so it's still that. Yeah, now it's all that liquid cooled, whatever. Like those things are damn near looking like sport bikes. Like they're.
Oh, they'll haul like a sport bike.
Well, that brand new
that's-
Sportster, the
that's
Sportster
Sportster
S, is the fastest motorcycle Harley's ever made.
I don't. Well, pretty.
They're
imagine
claiming
it
it's the
is.
fastest one they've ever made. So I think that bike is only like 460 pounds. It's 125 horsepower. I mean, it's gonna kill people. Like it's literally a plank. Like
Oh, yeah.
the seat is it's a board they wrap some leather around. Like it's
Jeez.
yeah.
What made her pick that one?
She's not on that. She's not on that. She's on a 883 cc Sportster. It looks like a Harley. Like it's a cruiser.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's top heavy.
But it's just I'm used to low center of gravity,
Yeah.
1,000-pound touring bikes.
Yeah.
And then I got on that little Sportster and tried to ride it like a touring bike, and the twitchy little fucker.
Trying to take you down.
Well, yeah, and then it rained, and
Ah.
that's the bike I laid down, was her Sportster,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
and I still can't sleep on my left side.
You need to go see a doctor about that.
Nah, rib injury. You ever injured your ribs? Like truly injured your
I don't
ribs?
think so.
You don't get to answer this question because you've injured everything that exists.
Well, yes.
You haven't exactly lived a boring life, but
No.
rib injuries take forever. Like just because they never hold still.
Oh.
Like they move with every breath you take. every time you bend, every time you sit down, every time you stand up, every time like.
And you pray you don't laugh.
Oh God, the first week, like I'd have to go sneeze, and you'd see me like literally like squeeze my rib cage to sneeze because it was God, it was awful.
Jeez.
It also needs new tires, which didn't help. These tires they're the stock tires from 15.
Yeah, tires are very important.
But yeah, twitchy little fucker.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd go see a GP race.
Yeah, I would too.
That's not actual GP. 'Cause
No.
they only race true MotoGP. I think Coda's the nearest track that does GP.
I think so.
Circuit of the Americas up in Austin.
America.
But I'd go watch it. I'd go watch a bunch of idiots on sport bikes.
Yeah, I'm definitely down to go do that.
Yeah, I'm down to go watch it. They're all organ donors.
Now, what
Every
I
single
like to
one.
do someday is go and see the Isle of Man race.
Oh my God.
We talked about that.
I
a
think
couple
those
weeks ago.
bikes spend more time in the air than they do on the ground.
Dude.
I think you're right.
Every time I've watched any of the highlight reels, I'm like, how do they get this speed? They're never touching the ground.
No.
It's
And they never have both wheels on the ground either.
ever.
No.
It's
Like, how are they getting these speeds? Because they're never on the pavement, and you need friction to generate forward
I don't
motion.
know. I want to go see
But
it.
where is it held again?
On the Isle of Man,
on the Isle of
which
Man.
is it's outside Spain, right?
Don't embarrass me. I thought it was.
Well, I just embarrassed myself because I just threw a question out there. I just threw a country out there.
Hold
Just
on.
make
So
it
what we
up.
got?
I thought it was Ireland.
Is it Ireland? It makes a lot of sense if it was Ireland.
It's giving me stuff for the
No,
Irish Sea. God damn it.
It might be Ireland.
I live outside of England.
Yeah,
The Isle of Man is
No,
located
you're right.
in
It's
the
not-
Irish Sea between Great Britain and Ireland.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I thought it
Okay,
was Ireland.
so that being said, there's an airline that will get us there from New York for like $129.
Well, we need to check Austin.
No, so we'd fly from like here to New York, and then we'd change over to that airline. It's an Irish airline. It only flies from New York, and it's New York to there for like $100 and something bucks.
Oh, sweet.
And we could go see the Isle of Man race. Now, I think you're only allowed to bring like a sandwich baggie of stuff to get on that airline. Like you don't.
makes Spirit look fancy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason it's so cheap.
Yeah.
And it's not like I don't even think you get water. Like it's
Make Southwest look good.
yeah, like it's pretty. But to go see the Isle of Man race,
Oh, yeah.
I'd make the sacrifice.
You can always buy new clothes there.
That's true.
They got to have a Walmart look.
I can live for a long time out of a backpack.
I found a Walmart in the Dominican Republic,
Yep.
and I have pictures to prove it.
Really?
It's a hut, and it said Dominican Walmart, which was right next to Dominican Macy's, which is right next to Dominican 7-Eleven.
And you know what none of them were? Walmart, Macy's, or a 7-Eleven.
Nope.
Yeah, so because there's been some things that have happened since
have been a couple
I've been
things.
on the show,
Yeah.
and since you've been on the show, you got married.
I did get married. I did.
I tried to warn him. He wouldn't listen.
Dude.
Hey, he's a hypocrite. He's not taking his own advice either. So
Yeah. Yeah. Whew.
But yeah, you got married,
I did.
and it was a beautiful wedding.
Thank you very much.
It was hot as fuck.
Was very toasty.
Holy shit! His ceremony took place. It was 104 degrees outside.
Yeah.
When and where?
Dripping Springs, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
it was
like 2 weeks
gorgeous. Yeah.
Like,
The
well,
venue was gorgeous.
yeah, 2 weekends ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's been 2
absolutely.
weeks.
Yeah.
So,
Congratulations.
That was, which, by the way, to all of you listening, after an hour and 20 minutes, hopefully most of y'all are listening still, but that's why there haven't been episodes the last couple weeks. But if you were in the Freedom Friends group, Mikey went live a couple times, try to entertain y'all a little bit. But yeah, shitbag Justin had to go take his honeymoon. So
Nothing to do with that. We're getting messages like, "Why haven't you guys published?" And it's like, you know what? We have lives too.
yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Although after the, what, four years we've been doing this now, we've only missed 2 weeks. So that's pretty
so
good.
We're calling the last 4 years season 1.
Yeah.
Now we're having a season break.
Yeah.
And then we're
Season 2. Yeah.
Y'all are lucky because it's 100 fuck outside. There just may not be more episodes to the end of summer. Like it's too damn hot. It's hot.
Yeah. But
But yeah, Justin. So how is it 2 weeks in?
it's same as before. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I wear a little extra
He's
jewelry.
just like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Well,
He's going to lie.
I gave him a little bit of a warning, and I was like,
Yeah.
look,
Okay.
it's a big day,
Mhm.
and you're going to have a lot of fun today, and you're going to go on your honeymoon, and it's going to be awesome, and then you're going to come back, and you're going to go, oh shit, the only thing that's different is my taxes. Like it doesn't, nothing really functionally changes. Like, yeah, how you will introduce her will be different, and that will feel a little off the first couple times you do it.
Yeah.
The whole like, because instead of going like, oh, this is my girlfriend or my fiance, and you get to do like, oh, this is my wife.
I have enjoyed that part.
Yeah. And then the part about getting everything legal.
Yeah. Then all the paperwork kicks in, and then it's all of a sudden like,
Luckily,
You got to go to the bank. You got to get each other on, bank accounts.
luckily she found this this service where they send her. She types in her information and they send her all of these documents for like name change, all of the stuff for that includes that.
That's cool.
And she just signs it.
you know, all that's free, right?
All the pre-filled out stuff. I don't know.
Like all that paperwork's free.
Yeah,
It's like those companies out there. They're like, it's never been easier to start an LLC. Pay us $300 and we'll do it. And it's like, you know, it's 2 forms. Like they're free. You just fill them out and you pay the state fee.
It costs more to disband one than to create one.
No shit. So yeah. But I also get the convenience of that. Of like, they know where it's going and all that.
Yeah.
It's like people that use those passport services. It's like, I don't know how to do this. And it's like, well, we do.
Yeah.
So use us and we'll make sure you get your passport.
Yeah.
Sometimes stuff like that, smart money to let somebody else.
Yeah.
My time's important to me.
And that's the deal.
Yeah.
Where do you value your time?
Absolutely.
So
I got motorcycles to ride.
That's why I'm waiting for AI to spin up so that I can produce this damn show and, I can just sit back and hit a couple buttons.
Yeah. But what is it going to produce?
it's just porn.
Can't get worse, right?
If the internet has taught me anything, it's that anything we come up with just turns into porn.
It's
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
it's real true.
So it's like, do you know why Blu-ray became the standard over that HD DVD? I don't know if you're old enough to even remember that there was 2 formats.
No, I remember that. Yeah.
So there was HD DVD.
There was beta also.
Oh, dude, that's going way back.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Blu-ray,
Yeah.
and then there was HD DVD.
Right.
Because DVD was the format, digital video disc.
Right.
And then the predecessor to that was Laserdisc. But those things were the size of records.
Yes.
And the machine for it was outrageously expensive. So then they made DVD. Well, then they made HD DVD, and Blu-ray came along at the same time. Like they were competing. One had the red band on the top and one had the blue box. And
That's right.
a lot of movies came out on both formats, depending on which kind of player you had. Do you know why Blu-ray won?
Why is that?
The porn industry went with Blu-ray.
Wow.
That's right.
I didn't know that.
So the porn industry chose Blu-ray as the standard for this is back when the internet wasn't fast enough for everybody to stream it all. So people were still buying movies.
They sold more the photography industry sold more DVDs than anything else.
Anything combined.
Nice.
Yeah, combined.
Like the 2 largest customers for disc format when that competition was going on was like Blockbuster and Hollywood Video and the porn industry. Like those were the 2 big customers. And so, but the porn industry decided like, nope, everything Blu-ray. That's where we're going.
Huh.
And so the sheer quantity of what was getting made just made it to where Blu-ray just had so much money
Nice.
that was just the standard.
Good on
and
them.
so, yeah.
Just creating jobs,
And so all the players, all the everything that went that route all went Blu-ray.
I do remember because I remember when Xbox was like, we are also a Blu-ray player. And I was like, fuck yeah.
So the one the sign that you knew it was all over is when the PS3 came out, and the PS3 was a Blu-ray player, and it was certified as the best Blu-ray player on the market. The best one you could buy was the PlayStation.
Yeah.
So there was like
people bought it just
to be a Blu-ray player. Yeah. Because it was like $300
cheaper
bucks.
than
It
buying
was
a-
$300 to get a PS3, or it was like $500 to buy a standalone Blu-ray player.
Yeah.
So
That's why my Xbox has always been, since I moved out, has always been in the living room because I have like all the Batmans and all the Fast and Furiouses.
just a player.
And it was like, well, like I could put this in my room, I guess, but if I want to watch a movie with someone, like it has to be in the living room. So that's why it's always, because it's the only Blu-ray player I've ever owned. So like, but
I think I have one in a box.
oh, really?
Like if you don't want just an Xbox standing in your living room and you just want
Oh no, I've got it like tucked behind our TV.
Oh, okay.
It's all fancy like.
like if you want like just to have a Blu-ray
In my
player.
living room, I got Xbox, PS5, and that's the
Man,
Yeah,
Mr.
no, he's-
Dixon's more stacked than I am.
No, he's a huge nerd.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like giant gaming rig.
Hell yeah.
Maintains his own gaming servers. Like huge nerd.
That's sick.
We just got those. We got them from Amazon. Those hide it mounts. So they're made in America. They're steel mounts, and they are shaped to fit your console. And you bolt them into the wall, and then your console just slides into them. And they're meant to hide, to mount all of your stuff behind your TV.
Yeah.
So you don't have all these gaming consoles sitting around.
Well, I like my gaming room.
Yes, you do,
Yes.
and it's not bad.
Awesome.
But so now I have a Switch, an Xbox, and a PS5.
Yeah.
And they're all hanging on the wall behind my TV now. So if you go in my living room, all you see is just the TV. You see no other devices anywhere.
Yeah.
So basically, you see the PS5, and you see the Xbox, you see the cable, and the TV. And then in the computer room, I have my multiple monitors.
Yeah. Your computer setup is
Yeah.
kind of insane.
I like it.
It's not bad. It's
Works
not
for
bad.
him.
I like his computer room. It's literally his huge gaming rig and a humidor. That's like the whole room.
Hell yeah.
Like
That's awesome.
no, there's some Harley stuff in there. There's some Harley
I
paraphernalia.
got some Harley paraphernalia.
There
but,
you go.
Yeah.
But everything else happens in the rest of the house.
Yeah.
Like when I do wood carving and that, it's in the living room.
Not in my room.
Right.
Yeah, I've got I think that's between the backyard the garage and my office. Those are like my next two projects for the house. Really get those how I want them to. But
Yeah, I think I'm replacing my desk.
oh really?
Well, I got those new monitors, and now they don't fit on my desk. It's too short. So like I can't do that and have my speaker. I don't have enough real estate. Like the desk is too small.
Well, that's why I got that monitor tower.
Yeah.
So I could put my monitors up.
Yeah. Well, I bought that desk several years ago, and it's like an L-shaped desk, but the two wings aren't very long. And at the time, I had like one monitor and my computer hooked up to it, and it was fine. But now I've got multiple monitors, and it's just they don't fit.
Just a first world problem, you know.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. I don't even remember the last time I turned my computer on. So I'm at work and I stare at a screen all day, and
Oh yeah.
I'm editing or I'm ordering or I'm on some fucking Zoom call because people can't just call you anymore.
Yeah, what the hell's going on with that nowadays?
Like, can't you just call me? Does it have to be this video phone call? Like,
I don't want to see it.
I'm like,
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm like, if I'm on a video phone call, that means I have to just stand here and talk to you. I can't.
You're better than me. I'd be like, sure, and then I'm just not turning any of my shit on.
No, I can't multitask at that point.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's why you get Zoom on your phone and you answer it and you set it right down like you would like taking a call and putting it on speaker and be like, see, or you could just call me like a normal human being.
one of my reps, I feel so bad for him because the company has given him this standard where he has to make 8 to 10 video calls because they're not an in-store rep program. 8 to 10 video calls so that you're getting FaceTime with your customers. Because the owner group is older. And so they're trying to do this old school, like, well, since you can't go face to face, we're going to get FaceTime. So he asked me if I could just be one of his weekly phone calls because we've become friends.
Yeah.
I'm like, sure. You're not going to like it. But just sure.
Answering the call, butt ass naked.
No, so he
camera
always calls
waist
me. Someone
level.
was at the store. So what he's always looking at because he's on a work computer and they're tracking what he's doing. But my side is always just like that back wall behind my bar. And I'll put my earbuds in because I work on a Mac. So I'll put my earbuds in. Well, it's like a 60-foot range on the headset. So I'm like walking around the store doing other stuff and I'm talking to him. But I treat it like a phone call. I'm like, there, you can check the box, but I'm not going to stand here and stare at you.
No,
Plus, you're kind of an ugly chud.
yeah, I don't like those.
Yeah, it's weird to me that everyone wants to FaceTime now or video call. And I'm like, no, like a phone call is perfectly fine.
I'm really the type that if I want to talk to you, I want to sit down and talk to you.
Yeah.
I don't really care to talk on the phone either.
Yeah.
I like face, as you know. I'm going to come and talk to you.
Oh, yeah.
Come to you talk.
That's one of the things I like about you. Like, so like if I get a text from Steve, it'll literally be like, this place, this time. And that's the whole text.
Nice.
And it's just like, yeah, that's all the info I need.
Yeah.
Because I'm the same way. Like if we need to chat, then let's sit down and chat. But like let's spend the time together and talk.
Absolutely.
Like,
Mhm.
But everybody now just wants to be. Oh, look at this. Mikey's actually trying to FaceTime me right now.
Oh, this shit.
This is one of the other hosts. We were just
Speaking of
talking about
shit
this.
bags and FaceTiming.
Oh.
What's up, shitbag?
Hey, buddy.
What's up?
I wanted to call you and say happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
We are currently recording an episode. I have Steve with me.
Hey, Big Steve.
So yeah, you called me mid-record. So we're yeah. So Justin's over there.
Oh, there he is. Being worthless, obviously.
No, obviously worthless. But yeah, we're doing a little duo episode.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Yeah. Wish we've gone way over time.
Very mediocre golf today. And
Jazz, hold up to the mic for me.
a little bit of a hangover, but now I'm enjoying a cocktail. And I'm sitting here with a couple Freedom friends. I got the old Goshen boys with me.
wow,
Bam.
he's as ugly as I remember.
It's true. It's true. But I'll let you guys get back to it, man.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate the call.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Appreciate it.
All right, buddy.
Also, we should have mentioned this earlier in the show. Everybody in the comments wish Jazz a happy birthday.
That's entirely unnecessary.
No, it's not. Tell him what you hope this next year of life brings him. Oh yeah. Oh, I got that for you for your birthday.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. But yeah, it just happens to be my birthday today. So
hmm
I wished him happy birthday the other day. Got it over with.
That's smart.
got it out of the way.
Smart man.
You know.
I had fun though. It was
Yeah.
a good time.
Hmm.
It was a good time.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. We had a good time.
So, anyways, like he said though, we've gone amazingly long.
It's our show. We can do what the hell we
That's fucking fact. What else do we need to cover?
want. That's pretty much it, man. Everybody wish Jazz a happy birthday. Also, if you're listening on Spotify, I'm gonna have a poll down there. If you're not on Spotify, you're somewhere else. Leave a comment wherever you can. I want to know out of the big four: baseball, football, basketball, soccer. Which is your sport? What do you like to watch more?
There's only one correct answer.
Really now?
It's one correct answer.
What's your answer?
I'll wait for the poll to finish and then
Okay.
I'll tell everybody why they're wrong.
All right.
I'm
I'm curious because you like
Football.
baseball and you played soccer. So
Yeah.
football than baseball.
oh, see, I'm flipped on that. I'm flipped, but I think that's probably the most famous answer.
I'm not gonna lie. I think football's boring as shit to watch.
Oh, I love it.
I like watching it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just boring.
On our Michigan trip,
Mm-hmm.
we went to Lambeau Field. Got to walk on Lambeau.
That's
And you're too young, but the whole time there, I just kept having visions of Vince Lombardi.
that hat and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was so cool. I mean,
That's awesome.
yeah. You know, back in the day when coaches were gentlemen
Yeah.
and they came to work
Yeah.
dressed as gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't all just polos and
Right.
Cut off hoodies.
yeah, or hoodies and a track pants or whatever. Like, no, I mean, like Vince showed up, suit, hat, like that was his job.
That was
He
his
showed up.
job. Yeah.
I've talked about that on the show several times about like I don't understand people that fly in pajamas and shit. And I'm like, what are you doing? It like
Yeah.
put some damn clothes on. It's not that hard. It like
No.
Be presentable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Vince Lombardi and the other coaches of the time, you know, but to walk on that field where the great ice bowl was played,
that's wild.
is, you know,
That's another one of those stadiums that's like I'm not a big football guy, but the opportunity to go to Lambeau, I'd take it. Like I'd absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I got to go to Three Rivers before they imploded that and turned it into Heinz. I got to go to Three Rivers and the Igloo before they got rid of that
oh man,
because I lived in Pittsburgh for a couple years. So like I got to see Lemieux play with the Penguins in the Igloo. Like, so that was cool.
let's see. I went to
Honestly, if there's any sport to watch, it's hockey.
Hockey.
Watching
is a good
hockey
one.
is
live.
hockey is
I
cool.
like hockey live.
oh god, the noise.
I know.
It's
And not only
just
that, but
insane.
What amazes me about hockey, when you get up in the stars level,
Yeah.
those guys, when they come in, when they fly into the dugout and out of the dugout, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Those guys hit that dugout doing as fast as they can, and the next guys are coming out all at the same time and going. That is something about, I mean, just.
The igloo before they got rid of it in Pittsburgh. So the way they made all of the upper stands, it's all this like folded steel with girders underneath it. Well, the fans would get up there and then they just poured like a thin layer of concrete over it. And the fans would get in there and all the fans figured out that if everybody bounced at the same time, they could make the whole stadium move. So you'd be in the stands and literally, and I don't mean like it would wiggle. I'm talking 3 to 6 inches of vertical movement that was going on with these things. And the first time you go, you're like, I'm gonna die in here. Like, this whole thing's coming down. And they'd been doing it for decades. And so that was cool. And then I actually got to go to Three Rivers where the Steelers played. And that's where like the Iron Curtain was played, like all of that. I got to go to that stadium before. And then we all skipped school the day they blew it up to build that yellow monstrosity they have now. Heinz Field is hideous. They made all the seats Heinz mustard yellow.
Yikes.
It is not Steelers gold. It is Heinz mustard yellow. Yeah. Well, because Heinz is from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But they're black and gold.
Yeah.
And they didn't make gold seats.
Nope.
They made Heinz mustard yellow seats. It's hideous. And you can see it from the sky, from like if you fly in there.
Yeah.
Like you can see the yellow. Like it's that much yellow.
I think I'm going to finally go to my first Texans game this year. I have a buddy of mine who is a Titans fan.
Big fan of watching people lose?
Oh, I was an Astros fan when we were ass too. So I ride with my boys.
I've been an Astros fan since, pre-Biggio, pre-Bagwell, like original uniform, and then was still a fan when they switched it to the blue and silver with the weird open star, and then the switch back to the tricolor.
Yeah.
I like the Astros. I'm a Cubs fan, and I like the Astros.
Yeah.
But I've been to many Astros games.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Dome was awesome. And I've been to the Dome closed. I've been to it open, like the whole nine yards. I went to a couple games at Minute Maid.
I like Minute Maid.
It just wasn't the Dome.
Yeah.
Because the Dome was the Dome held like 35,000 people.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And just the roar that happened in there and the crack of the bat that just echoed through that thing.
Yeah.
And just like, God. Largest above ground structure in the world.
At the time.
That's sick.
Yeah.
So different beast. But growing up as a kid, I was just a Nolan Ryan fan.
Oh, absolutely.
So I was just a fan of whatever team he played on.
Yeah.
So that's when I became a Stros fan, and then he went to the Rangers.
Yeah. So
then I became a Rangers fan.
Yeah.
Because Ryan was pitching for the Rangers. And it was just like, I didn't really give a shit about the Rangers. I was just a Nolan Ryan fan.
Yeah.
So then when he retired, I went back to being an Astros fan.
Yeah.
So I've always loved the Astros.
Mm-hmm. I did the same thing.
But I followed Ryan.
So I was an Astros fan, and then I wanted to see a team win every now and then. So I was a Rangers fan and an Astros fan for a while, and then I fell off with the Rangers.
I worked in Dallas for a while, and the company I worked for was fantastic. They had a box at Rangers Stadium that we got to go to.
That's awesome.
Oh,
anytime.
that's cool.
But the year Nolan Ryan's last year, they made sure that we got to go to the first game he pitched and the last game.
That's
amazing.
amazing. I cannot imagine what the last Ryan game was like to be at.
Oh, yeah. Man, it was.
Because he walked off that field like a gentleman.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
But you talk about a gentleman.
What a career.
Yeah.
What a career. And just.
He held like a 230 batting average.
I did not know that.
Because he played AL and NL. So he played where the pitchers batted as well. And he was still like a 230 at the plate.
Damn.
For a pitcher, that is
not bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, so I remember when he got his 7th no-hitter. I remember when he broke 15,000 strikeouts. Like I'm old enough to remember that the tail end. I wasn't around obviously when he played for Anaheim and he that was
I don't remember him playing for just when he played for the Rangers.
Were you around when he delivered those knuckle sandwiches to I can't remember the guy.
No.
Was that before?
I was alive.
Yeah.
It was before I
got into baseball.
I was paying attention to baseball.
That is
but
one of my every now and then it resurfaces on social media, and I'm like, oh, I love this video so much. And then he finished pitching the game, and he only got yelled at because he was punching with his throwing hand. He was like, "Did you get in trouble?" Coach yelled at me.
Used my throwing hand.
Yeah, I was like, "What a G."
But you're talking about somebody. I mean, this was now these pitchers. 102, 103 is just like, yeah, welcome to the league. Like that's. I mean, you're talking about a dude that. I mean, he was called the Ryan Express because it was, he could consistently deliver that level of speed.
Yeah.
And, but man, what a career. I found out something I didn't know.
What's that?
Did you know what the Big Hurt did after he retired?
Mm-mm.
He is a professional photographer for the NFL.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. I follow him on social media.
I was like,
he shoots everything.
what?
He's gone to Africa a bunch of times. He's posted a bunch of that stuff.
And they all do. But like during the NFL season, he's a sideline photographer for the NFL. Like that's just what he does now.
Yeah. He
Like,
went from throwing heat to pressing shutter buttons. I'm trying to find.
But
I always thought it would be cool to be a photographer on the sideline for the NFL.
Oh yeah.
But a buddy of mine actually got a pass
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
work because you have to work for a newspaper. So he got a newspaper to say, okay, we'll credential you. He said he never worked so hard in his life.
Oh yeah. Those guys.
He said
move.
he had 5 remote cameras, and he was running up and down the field. And he said, of course, the newspaper was constantly in his ear, wanting to send it.
well, and a lot of those guys, like, they're shooting on like 300 to 500s.
Yeah.
And those lenses they're so heavy.
Oh, yeah.
And,
No kidding.
and you see these guys, they're picking them up and they're hustling down the field because the plays have changed and all this stuff. I've got a woman I went to film school with, and she went to film school to get a job with NFL. Like she wanted to shoot video for the NFL, and she got the gig. And she is shredded. Like just
They move.
she is so beyond fit, and she's shooting on like big professional grade, like huge shoulder mounted video, and she's an itty bitty thing. She's like 5'3", like she's a tiny little thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, but that's all she wanted. So
It's a different beast.
yeah,
But
different animal.
that's why they all, if you look closely, a bunch of them will have the tripods around there.
Yep.
Because their arms would just be especially the guys that are sitting at like the 50-yard line, because they get majority of the action.
Yeah.
Like they're
on the low tripods, or
They look like they're watching a tennis match
Yep.
because they're just constantly moving. Like,
Oh yeah, it's got
yeah. But
it's wild.
to be hard.
Anywho,
yeah.
I've got actually a dinner to go to, so
Let's wrap this
not
bitch up.
to go to. My wife is making me dinner. For my
Nice.
birthday. But
All right.
she asked me what I wanted. I wanted Dijon chicken, so she's making me chicken.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I've got to go home and eat my dinner. But anyways, warfightertobacco.com. Use that code FTFO, 15% off your order. owellness.us, Freedom Friends 25, get your quarter off your order, and grillyourassoff.com/Freedom Friends podcast. You get a little discount over there for ordering all their tasty rubs. In the meantime, I'm going to raise my glass and say thank you for being my Freedom Friends.
Thank you. Good.
And 3 little things, words to live by. You've heard them a million times, so you can hear them a million more. And that's smoke on, drink on, and goddamn it, boys,
Freedom the fuck on.